Thank you firstly for all being here with us today. My name is Catherine Constantinides. I will be your program director for the morning. I'm an international climate activist and social activist. I'm also a former Miss Earth South Africa. I'm very proud to be hosted here this morning at the Cullinan. Sun is our official partner and our home away from home. Thank you so much to the Sun team for hosting this breakfast this morning as we roll out our ambassadors program for Save Water. If you are on social media platforms, please make use of the hashtag Save Water and Every Drop Counts. If you forget, there's one of them, so there's the other, so no excuses. Please use your platforms. This is really important because the only way we're going to drive awareness, education, and a sense of community through doing something is through using our own communities. So Save Water is the campaign, and Every Drop Counts is the second hashtag we'd like to ask you to use. This morning you're being hosted here as we launch an ambassadors program which we'll take you through. But we're here because we find ourselves in a very difficult position as South Africans. None of us are oblivious to the fact that we have a water crisis, not only in the Western Cape, but predominantly the problem has been escalated because of what we have seen happen on the ground here. Our partners, the Department of Water and Sanitation, have really tried to see what is it that we can ensure that we do, that we start to change the narrative. We have seen South Africa in a complete panic mode over the last few weeks, and it's really up to us to engage as active citizens to say, well, what are we doing to move forward? How do we move forward as active citizens that are doing something? And changing the narrative means educating. It means sharing ideas, being creative and being innovative. It also means bringing stakeholders and partners around the same table. This morning we're very honored to have Mr. Rashid Khan, the regional head of the Western Cape Department of Water and Sanitation, with us. And unfortunately, due to developments over the last 24 hours, the Deputy Minister could not be with us this morning. It's also wonderful to have other members from the department here with us, from National Department of Water and Sanitation, and we welcome you. We also welcome Sun and their leadership, the Cape Argus and their leadership, and Operation SA and Miss Earth ambassadors and team members that are here. This program really is to ensure that each and every one of us understands that, yes, there is a national crisis, but there is also something that we can each do. In front of you, there are leaflets with pointers, things that you can do, things that you can go home and start doing. They're tips and advice. It also gives you an idea of what 50 litres of water means. It has been said that you won't understand the value of water unless you've had to carry your own 50 litres of water. And that's so true. I hope that each and every one of you, when you leave here today, you will think about those top ways to save water in your own homes, and you'll go back home and start to implement something. If you're doing certain things, what is the next thing that you can do? It's really about a commitment, a personal commitment, both in your home space and in your workspace. Today we're being hosted by an organization, Sun, who have really gone to extremes to ensure that in every part of their business, they are reducing water consumption. And it's the value chain of that water consumption and how we're saving water that is so crucial. You arrive at the Cape Town International Airport, you get off the plane, and there's signage and there's awareness. We have to be committed to a long-term vision of changing behavior, ensuring that we start to live differently. Our natural resources are not going to become an abundance of natural resources in weeks or months or years to come. We only have so much water, so we have to think differently about how we engage and use that water. It really goes back to being an active citizen. How is it that you're going to commit to using less water? There are also people within our communities and within our country that don't even have the privilege of 50 litres of water a day. And this needs to be a reality check for us. While we try to reduce that water consumption and try to hit the mark of 50 litres or less, there are people that don't even have that privilege. And that's the reality of where we are as a nation. And globally, South Africa is not the only country that is facing such extreme drought, such extreme water pressures. And with a growing population, it's really important that we start to look at our behavior on a daily basis. It's unfortunate that, I mentioned this earlier, but it's really unfortunate that we've needed a crisis to get people to pay attention. Climate change is real. Environmental issues and pressures on the world that we live in are real. And each and every one of us has to rethink. We have to think about water. We have to think about where does our food come from. And while we are addressing the water crisis, we cannot put pressure on the other elements of our existence in our ecosystems. So as we save water, it does not mean that we need to plug in a million different appliances. We need to find things that are going to be alternative, innovative, creative, but things that we can do to ensure that as a country, we're going to set a new benchmark, and we're going to teach our children in our homes to respect and protect that natural resource of water. Water does not come from a tap, but when you ask people, they think that you just turn it on and water comes out and that's where water comes from. But this precious resource really does need to be protected. And I think that as we keep pushing back a deadline date of when we will run out of water, we have to all be committed on a daily basis to do something. When it's not in the headlines or it's not the top issue of news for the day, let us make sure that we are committed in the long term to relook at what we're doing. The tips in front of you are things that you can share. It's really about what you're doing with your community and your circle, your network. That might just be in your home, it might be at work, the people that work around you, whatever it might be. It's really crucial that we start to engage with our communities about what can be done and how individual impact has a collective opportunity to make a change. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very proud to be an ambassador of this program, and my fellow ambassador, 15Feb2018, is with us today. He will run through and he will unpack what the ambassadors program will look like, how it's going to roll out, and we will also then we will announce all of the ambassadors who are here and those that couldn't make it today, unfortunately due to travel, people being located in different parts of the country. So it's really important that we ask you to share the information, share being here this morning. Don't forget the hashtag #SaveWater and every drop counts. And please share this information. We really need you to be engaged, not just today, but far beyond today, in 6 months' time, in a year's time. Share the small things that you're doing at home, how you're using your cooking water to do something else with it, grey water systems. And I challenge you to really be conscious of making an impact. Ladies and gentlemen, to take us through our ambassadors program, please welcome 15Feb2018.
A very good morning to you, ladies and gentlemen. You can applaud, the funeral is still not underway. Welcome. The regional head of the Department of Water and Sanitation, Mr. Rashid Khan, our chief, my co-ambassador, Catherine Constantinidis, fellow South Africans, the list of protocols are very long. If I mention the president of SARU and I don't mention the deputy president of the MJC, I might be in trouble. So I'm going to say, welcome to you, our Save Water ambassadors. Why does it take a crisis for us to get together? Simply because, ladies and gentlemen, we are South African and we care. We want to make sure that this initiative, I don't want to call it a campaign, called #SaveWaterEveryDropCounts, will make a difference. We know we have what we call Day Zero coming up in Cape Town. With every little saving, the date is being thrown back. Hopefully through this campaign or this initiative, we will and we must ensure that there is no Day Zero. This initiative is not about competition, about listenership and radioship and Soho and what's the other group? It's about we uniting in the true spirit of Ubuntu and making a difference. Operation SA, together with the Department of Water and Sanitation, also represented here by the Deputy Acting DG, where's Janine? Welcome, Janine. Our partner in the efforts to save water, Our many other partners who I'm going to be outlining shortly really want to make a difference, and we remain confident. We are and we will make sure that day zero does not happen. We can only do that if we partner with every sector of society, be it big business, be it the media, be it ordinary household people, be it government, on all spheres of government. We have to work together and we have to make a difference. Ladies and gentlemen, you might see the logo of the NDP on our t-shirts, on the banner wall. The National Development Plan, beautiful document of our government, talks about active citizenry. And that is what we need to do. We need to become active citizens and we need to lead the way. Today is only the first part of the launch of this ambassadors program, and I can assure you, with the Department of Water, we want to take this message to every corner of South Africa. And I'm delighted that municipalities like the city of Joburg has already pledged that they are going to do their bit to create awareness, and they're already starting to support this campaign. And my call on municipalities across South Africa, I don't care whether you wear a red t-shirt or a blue t-shirt or a yellow t-shirt, is hashtag save water, every drop counts. Let's unite. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm told that we're 109 days away from so-called day zero. And I can promise you, it was no arrangement, no pre-arrangement. When we drew the list of our first lot of ambassadors, Janine, we came out to 109. Which means that every one of these ambassadors, some of them who are here today, have a job to do. But every South African, we need to be an ambassador. Let me run through this list of names very quickly, and I'm not going to bore you with too much detail of who they are. During the campaign and during the initiative, we'll roll them out. I'm honored, together with Catherine Constantinidis and Yasin Teba. Where's Yasin? Please stand up, from Operation SA. As our chief ambassadors, we'll be taking charge and we'll be leading this initiative through every part of the Western Cape and every part of South Africa. So we have Catherine, we've got Yasin, I'm there. We've got Janine Julies, who is the Deputy Chief Director in the Department of Water. Janine, please stand up. I can put a round of applause for Janine. You know, in Afrikaans they say, "Party mense is moeilik om te werk met." But let me tell you, if it wasn't for this lady, and she called us to Pretoria a few weeks ago, and we sat down and we brainstormed, and she said, "We are doing this." And I think government can be proud to have civil servants like you, Janine. And I hope that the minister is in here, but I'll speak to her to see if he can give you a promotion one of the days. But ladies and gentlemen, Janine Julie is one of our ambassadors. Kasant Abada, Carolyn Stein, who can't be here. The president of SARU, Mark Alexandra. Thank you, Mark. Please stand up. Put your hands together. Because he pledged that the Bokke are going to come on board, and the Bokke, some of them are here. The other ones are going to be on board, and maybe we even get our hashtag on the Bokke shirt one of the days. But thank you to Mark for always partnering and putting South Africa first. Ishrat Hussain from the Cape Peninsula University of Technology, Kevin Koppel from Shout, Neil De Beer, Kino Kamis, is Kino here? That's a late one, right? Gary Reid, the GM of the Cullinan. Where's Gary? Gary, thank you for hosting us, and thank you to you and to your company for all you do to promote this campaign. We also have Mikael Collier from Oka, South Africa. Vernon Adams, I'm going to be introducing you shortly, from independent newspapers. Maulana Abdul Khalik Ibrahim Ali, the Deputy President of the Muslim Judicial Council. Please stand up, Maulana. Don't pray now, but we will pray now. Please, I'll talk about the MJC in a moment. Lisa Surf from Government Communication. Ashraf Garda from SAFM and Champion South Africa. Rushdie Weideman. Ryan O'Connor, is Ryan here already? Maybe stuck in traffic on air. Pauline Lowe, my former colleague at Prime Media. Is Pauline here already?
Sure, thank you.
Where is she? Okay. Lisa van der Westhuizen, I'm going to be introducing her shortly as well. We've got Zahira Bam Ismail, Kari Ziad Patel, Ahmed Laher. Where's Ahmed? We're coming to offer a donation to you. One of our ambassadors, please stand up, from Laher's screen printing. A great supporter of initiatives. Wherever we do good, he gives us a discount, or he does it free of charge. We also have Mark Fish, one of our ambassadors, Jeremy Harris, Aidan Thomas. I think Aidan said he's coming the minute he comes off air, so he'll be joining us shortly. Katie Mohammed from Play Your Part. Where's Katie Mohammed? Brand SA, thank you for representing us. Altaf Kazi from Cricket South Africa, Monique Strydom, Irene Mutsuris, Miss Earth South Africa, JP Dumini, Adrian McCrame, Joey Rasdeen, Chester missing, he's on the plane, but Conrad has given his support, but Chester missing, he's on board. Rian Arendse, our Saru team, Eben, thank you to you for leading the team and for being here today. Frans Malherbe, Rian Nell, Craig Rivet from Namola and Make SA Safe. Chef Dawood Sampson, are you here already? Okay, Hollywood, Bollywood. Okay, now. Karin Nadim Dawood, Faisal Motlika, Imam Abdul Moti Saban, AB Isaac from the Mitchells Plain CPF, Zaid Surti, Hein Kaiser, Karishni Naika from South Africa, Brigetta Limbanda, are you here? Where are you? Please stand up. I want to pay tribute to this lady. She took the initiative to lead a campaign to save water in the Cape long before we started. Facebook, Twitter, live streaming. I think we are live as well.
Yes, we are.
Thank you. We've got Lynn Phillips from Mitchells Plain CPF, Ellen Ford, Lance Witten, I'm going to be introducing her in a moment from the independent newspapers, Nisha Verghese, Louis Fish, Bas Louis. I want to say something about the former rugby player, but anyway, welcome to you, Louis. Taslim Hassan from Northwest University. Inkululeko Ingubani, who's still on a Safair flight from Johannesburg, has been delayed. So on Twitter. Tanya Skiertmarker, Nicole Ludwig, Bianca Lagranchi. Is Bianca here? I think she should be here shortly. Stephen Taylor. Stephen?
Yes, I'm here.
Welcome. Tracy Purtel, Alfarnas Patel, Menti Strimlin, Rafat Bamchi, PJ Powers, Ifan Jainuddin, Craig Heen from Watershed, Garth Taylor, musician, Barbara Lenhard, Marina Constance, Shabir Ahmed Dawood, Jean Skiertelma, Luke Fish, Janine Hills, Olaf Brinkman. Olaf, where are you? Of course, you supported us in the good old days with the other water campaign. We know we're going to count on you. Leighton Beard from the AA, Joanne Selby from the Table Bay Hotel, Linda Sengered from Brand South Africa, Tanya Heidenrach from the Office of the Mayor of Johannesburg, Polenska, Shenaz, Mehboob Bawa, Linda, Husnain Abdullah from Okaf, Murray Williams, AB from Ajax. Where's AB? AB here? Okay, we'll wait for him to join us. Tom London, Danny K musician, Nick Bedford, Wes Grow, Shelley Humphreys, Siamo and Lova from Proudly South Africa, Dr. Habib Nurbai, former Mr. South Africa, who's here, Kia Johnson, Michael Konstantinidis, Mishka Patel, Selo Hutton from the Nelson Mandela Foundation, Hanif Lunat, who's here today, Shuaib Appleby from the, and Shahid from the Water Coalition, Zulu Boy, Sefo, Rose, Nombusa, Bianca, already the SA Miss Earth theme, Mandy Richards, lecturer from the Cape University of Technology, Aziz Hartley from the Cape Argus, the editor, and we also have a commitment from the Manco Mayor, Councillor Limberg from the city of Cape Town, who has pledged her support for this campaign. Ladies and gentlemen, 109 names for the first lot of this campaign. Please put your hands together for these ambassadors. In a nutshell, what do we want to do? We want to make sure that Cape Townians and South Africans save water. If we save water, we'll be able to avoid a crisis situation. As I mentioned earlier, we need everyone on board. Every ambassador who is here today, your tweets, your Facebooking, your Instagrams, your appearances, the school visits we're going to be undertaking will spread this message. And we want to make sure, ladies and gentlemen, that we do our bit to save water, because water is life. It's not for Catherine and I, Yasin, to drive this campaign, not even for the department. We as South Africans must drive this campaign, and my appeal to South Africans is to say to you today, join this movement. Join this movement and make a difference to save water, because water is life. Ladies and gentlemen, before we run through one or two of our guests, let me introduce quickly the team from the independent group of newspapers. Now, I come from a media background. I know the importance of media. We want front page in the Cape Argus tomorrow. Whether Cyril Ramaphosa becomes president today or tomorrow, we still want front page, Aziz. But the point is, we cannot do this without our colleagues in the media. And I'm happy that long before we started, my friends from the independent group of newspapers, Vernon, Lance, Aziz, Hassan, came up with the campaign called #EveryDropCounts. You take the paper today, you see tomorrow, every day, on every page, there's the hashtag. We are delighted that they are partnering with us and we're partnering with them. And we are going to make sure that we spread this message to every part of Cape Town. And I'm sure the independent group with a footprint throughout South Africa will take this message to every part of South Africa. Lance, if you talk more than 2 minutes, we charge you per second. Please come forward and please tell us very briefly your support for this campaign, what you are planning, and what we can do to make sure our ambassadors support this campaign. Please, Lance Witten from the independent group, and Vernon, please come forward as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, honored guests and ambassadors, all protocol observed. My name is Lance Witten. I'm from the Cape Argus and by extension the Independent Media Group. I want to thank Yusuf and Catherine as well as Yasin and Ahmed for really turning on this campaign. It was probably February last year when we launched our Cape Argus shower song. At the time, we were at level 4 restrictions. 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes was okay for a shower. Yusuf has given me 2 minutes to speak. I'm going to try and keep it to 90 seconds, which is the time that we have now to shower. That's all we've got. The time of pointing fingers is over. We cannot say that which department in government should have done this, the province should have done that, the city of Cape Town should have done this. There's all sorts of politicking that has gone on. That time is gone. It's over. It's up to us now to do something about it. Moaning about what we could have done, what we should have done, will not save us our water. We are facing a real humanitarian crisis. The right to access to fresh water is enshrined in our constitution. Now, we can blame people for impacting on our basic human rights, or we can stand together as South African citizens and own this problem and say, you know what, as my editor Aziz Hartley likes to say, we don't have problems, we have challenges. How can we tackle those challenges? So I ask that all of you support this initiative. As Yusuf mentioned, it is not a campaign. What's in it for us as the Cape Argus? Nothing. We are part of the fabric of this community. We have been part of Cape Town's history for 161 years. This year we celebrate 161 years. So we are part, it is within our DNA to help to change the mindsets. It is about a shift in culture, it's about a shift in mindset, how we view water, how we treat water, how we value water. It's up to our children, and I'm sure Yusuf will take us through the program where we will be impacting schools. Vernon likes to mention the fact that it's children who actually nag their parents to change. My brother got my dad to quit smoking because every day he said, Daddy, you know what your lungs look like, you know what your lungs look like. My children are doing the same thing to me. So our children are the ones who are going to help us change mindsets. Because yes, day zero might have been shifted to June 4th, when our rains start coming here in Cape Town. Our rains hit in winter. But in November, we're going to be having the same conversation. In January 2018, we're going to be having the same conversation. We do not want to be having those conversations. We want to make that part of our daily life today. So the Cape Argus, as Yusuf has said, hashtag every drop counts. We carry that on every single page of our newspaper as of the beginning of this year. We dedicate a page every Friday. My role as head of our digital campaigns and digital products is to oversee the launch of a special hashtag every drop counts portal. Now that digital portal goes live on IOL this week. We'll communicate that via social media, and I'm sure that everybody can. It's a resource where you can find everything related to water savings, tools and tips on how you can save water, videos on how people can also do there. But if any of you have solutions, grey water solutions, if you've got a rain catchment solutions, let us tell those stories. Our newspaper is there to provide that platform. We will publish your stories. All you need to do is give it to us. You have access to all of our platforms. Save Water has access to all of those platforms. We will carry your stories. We will put that online. We will carry it on all our digital platforms. That is our commitment. I want to introduce our own ambassadors as well. Alistair Isabel, entertainer, songwriter, playwright. Goodness, Isabel, Alistair, is there anything we don't? Is there anything you don't do? Water saver, water champion. Former Springbok, and also another one of our water ambassadors, Tandera Chivanga, who's joining us here today as well. I want to thank each and every one of you for doing your bit. We can do more. It's not enough. 50 liters is a lot of water. It's a lot. It's 50 kilos. If you can carry 50 kilos, I don't think you can use 50 kilos of water in a day. Eben's probably the biggest man here. Eben, I'm sure you can shower in 15 liters of water. You've got a lot of hair. That's probably where it ends. The rest of it is fine. It's just a wash and a rinse. My challenge to us all is to use 50 liters or less. I want to thank Save Water, the Save Water Initiative. I want to thank Catherine, Yusuf, Ahmed, and Yasin as well. I want to thank all of our ambassadors for putting their names behind this. Together, we can make a difference. It is not about avoiding day zero. It is about changing how we view and how we value this resource. Thank you very much.
I'm going to take 1 second to tell you for the difference of airtime. Ladies and gentlemen, I think that deserves another round of applause. Really, I think it makes us feel proud that our media colleagues are leading this campaign. And thank you for the support. The one thing that we decided also, ambassadors, is Lance will give us the guidelines. Write a 1,000-word opinion piece. They'll consider it for publication. We can't tell the editors what to publish, but they will consider it on merit. And we want you to spread the message. And I know the Independent has also asked us to do that. And you can be assured, watch this space, Vernon. This partnership between the department, Ms. Earth and Operation SA, together with the Independent group, is going to go to new levels over the coming weeks and months. Remember World Water Day, 22nd of March? We've got something big coming up for you. Ladies and gentlemen, where's Liesel van der Westhuizen? Gosh, okay. The President of SARU, please come forward with Rayan. Rayan Aronson. President, please come forward. Yeah, I think you're not shy, but please come forward. I'm going to ask Rayan to introduce the President quickly, and he'll introduce the BLive team, and just to give us a short message of support.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kaya from SA Rugby. Thank you to the Save Water program for involving SARU. I think we believe that water is a very scarce resource, and we are very glad to be part of this program. And obviously, we need to work together to protect the hydrosphere and also make sure that the demands of water for the current and the future is actually met. We are very proud. We are an icon of inspiration for all, and we believe that SARU is a very good corporate citizen. For this, I'm just going to introduce the President of SARU, Mr. Mark Alexander. Thank you for making time and be here. And then also the captain of the Springboks, Eben, thank you for making time. We also have 2 women players who are here as well to support the program, Mariti and Zinki. We also appeal to all other sporting coaches to follow the lead of SARU and show their support to this noble cause. Thank you very much.
Before you go, Mark, even please come forward, and can we have our other team members please come forward as well. Put your hands together.
I think as South African Rugby, we appeal to all our federations to follow this good initiative to save this precious resource for us in the country, and we call all the other federations play your part, and we will play our part. Thank you.
We're trying to get I think really we can be proud to support the Go Bokke. You guys do a good job, and we really support you guys. And thank you for your support, Captain, as well, and management. And really, Captain, can we put a hashtag on the shirt? Thank you very much for the support, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you to the team for joining us. They have to rush off to another engagement because if they don't train, we'll see this trouble again. So we're going to be excusing them in a few minutes, but thank you for your support. Thank you. Very quickly, we just got 1 or 2 more introductions. The Vice President of the Muslim Judicial Council, Maulana Abdul Khalik, are you here? Please come forward. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, the Muslim Judicial Council is an important rail player, not only in the Western Cape, but throughout South Africa. They've been driving this message of saving water for a very long time. I know Maulana Abdul Khalik, the Vice President, wants to give us a short message of support. And thank you for your time, Sheikh.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Let us have smiles, people. It is really a wonderful come together here. The crisis has brought the best out of us by creating and building bridges amongst our communities. The mere fact that we are ambassadors for safe water is indeed a great achievement. Now, water is life. Water gives life. Water sustains life. And therefore, when we come together as ambassadors, we are in actual fact preserving life. You are preserving the honor and dignity and the well-being of not only humanity, but every living organism that requires water. For truly the glorious Quran and all faith speaks about water gives life. And so we would like to salute you. But I think it is also time for us to roll up our sleeves. And I'm ready to do that as an ambassador, and practically to do so, to say, people, we need to get out to the communities. The mere fact that the media is our partners, the communities need to see us. And so let us dig deep and be able to go out to the communities. I also serve, by the way, just as a point of reference, I don't see any faith leaders here. But I represent also the Western Cape Religious Leaders Forum. I serve as the Deputy Chairman of the Western Cape Religious Leaders Forum that is inclusive of everybody in the Western Cape. And I would like to take this ambassador's message to the Western Cape Religious Leaders Forum so that the religious and the faith communities who reaches far deep into communities must be able to get the message to our communities. Now, I would like to say in conclusion, there's perhaps no other community that uses and consumes so much of water as the Muslim community, because 5 times a day we must pray, and 5 times a day we must be able to take ablution. Our message on behalf of the Muslim community and the MDC has gone far and wide to all our mosques and all our masajid to tell people, you make ablution with a minimum amount of water. And so that is our message. Let's get out there. We are ready to work with, and we hope and pray that water must be preserved, not only during the crisis time, but at times when we have in abundance as well. I thank you.
For your leadership, for your support. I know last week, Janine, when we had the Pray for Rain, the Muslim Judicial Council and every mosque throughout South Africa had special prayers, and we appeal to you, let's continue to pray for rain. Not only last week, not only today, but tomorrow, and for a very long time, we need the beneficial rain, Molana, and thank you for your leadership. Sokosan, great partners, they give us discounts on the room sometimes. I'm going to invite John, one of the senior executives from Sokosan, to come and say a few words quickly, and thank you again to the Cullinan and to your hotels for hosting us, John. And then you guys also host the Springboks.
We do. Charlie, very proud of that.
Morning, everybody, and welcome. I really think that Western Cape and South Africa could not have got a better person to run this project and initiative than Yusuf Abramji. I think he deserves an incredible round of applause. We as Tsogo has worked for many years with Yusuf, and it's absolutely amazing. Once he gets something and he gets the support like he's got here this morning, he is going to do an incredible job, and for all your support to him as well. It's indeed appreciated. I'm the Operations Director for Tsogo-San for the Western and Eastern Cape, and what we basically, I don't want to go into all the details of what we did in terms of the water savings in all our hotels in the Western Cape. But the critical ones, for example, was that we have highly sophisticated computerized systems that measures the water being utilized every single day. For example, we can measure every half an hour how much each hotel water is consumed. What we do is we create a benchmarking exercise, and then we say by bed night sold, because as you know, there's single occupancy and there's double occupancy. So if you've got a bed night sold, you then get down to the basics of knowing how much each hotel is consuming water every 24 hours. We then benchmark that, best practice, and then we measure that going forward as well. We also reduced our shower roses we did an actual bucket test. We took a bucket below a shower rose, we measured the amount of water per minute, and we now got the most sophisticated shower roses that is 7 to 8 litres a minute. So there is huge savings there. We've taken all the bath plugs out. We're reducing the amount of times we change linen. We do it on request. Obviously a departure room, a new arrival room, we also change the linen. So all of those staff training, telling people when they arrive at the hotel, the education of the international and domestic market. So we've had some great results. Lots of signage up in our hotels, in the public areas, also in the bedrooms. So a lot of work has been done there as well. Just one more minute, Yusuf, is that we also have a desalination plant that's being put together at the moment. It will be at the Western. HBF, a subsidiary of Tsogosan Holdings, is funding that, and they will then supply water from the Western to the Cullinan and then to the waterfront. Now you might be negative about desalination plant, heavy on power, also the water has to go back into the sea afterwards. But we currently are pumping lots of litres of water every single day from the basement of the Western, the Cullinan and the waterfront. So we'll utilise that water to desalinate that. In many of our other hotels, you'll probably have 4 or 5 hotels going off the grid. As from last Friday, the Newlands, the Southern Sun Newlands, is totally off the grid with a borehole water purification plant, and it's off the grid. So that's a great achievement. But Yusuf, to you and your team, we wish you the best, and we will assist the whole project for accommodation, for functions like this. Tsogosan is right behind you, and we will support you throughout the country. Thank you very much for coming today. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, really inspirational stuff from the Tsogosan group, and thank you for that. I just see Aidan Thomas has joined us. Where's Aidan? Come forward. My former boss, my former boss at the Prime Media Broadcasting, now the morning anchor on Art FM. Ladies and gentlemen, when I picked up the phone and I phoned Aidan to say, I want you to be an ambassador, he said, I'll be an ambassador, I'll do what it takes, and I'll give you all the publicity and support. Aidan, please say a few words.
Good Lord.
1 minute.
If anybody can ambush anyone, it's Yusuf Abramji. He has the uncanny ability of getting a room full of very influential, very committed, very dedicated people together, and just looking at who we've got here today, that certainly is the case. I'm here as a Gatonian, as a member of the media, but more specifically as somebody who's just very passionate about our relationship with water. And I think the one thing that's happened over the last while is the fact that we've all needed to understand this relationship that we've taken for granted is something we need to reevaluate and redefine going forward. We no longer, unfortunately, live in a province where water is guaranteed, where our dams are guaranteed to be 100% full every winter. I think those days are way behind us, and with Cape Town becoming an increasingly attractive place for people to live and seek better prospects, the limited resource we have is going to be under even more strain going forward. So our message, very simply, the platform that I use, and I'd like to think the one that we all have access to, is we need to change the way we relate to water going forward. It's not just about opening the tap, using as much of it as we please, and paying a bill at the end of each month. I have kids who are passionate about filling toilets with shower water. They capture every single drop of it. And if we can inculcate that into young people, but also allow them to be an example to ourselves, I think we're starting to make some headway in understanding that we can never have the same relationship we did with water going in the past. Going forward, it's a completely different story. I think this initiative, the one that says save water as opposed to buy water and stockpile water, there's still people from the 94 election who are eating baked beans. I think the same thing's going to happen. Bottled water as 21st gifts for people and stuff. I think that's going to happen because they don't know what the hell they're going to do with garages full of water that they're stockpiling. We need to be saving. We need to be changing the way in which we use the water. So to Yusuf, to the team at Operation SA, the hashtag Save Water campaign. I think with us being here, it's a demonstration of the fact that we're committed, that we're passionate, that we're all keen to drive home a message, and all strength to each and every one of us as we spread that message. Thanks very much.
Very important point, ladies and gentlemen. Our appeal to people of Cape Town: do not stockpile. Why stockpile? Rather save water. Secondly, when we began this campaign, people were saying to us, in Gauteng we're collecting water, and I said, you know what guys, you don't have to be a rocket scientist. You collect or you buy a 5-litre bottle of water in Gauteng, you're going to have a shortage in Gauteng eventually. You're going to drive it 1,200 kilometers to Cape Town, it probably costs you 3 or 4 rand, so the couriers are going to make good money. Why don't we find better ways to make sure this campaign works? I went to a supermarket in Athlone yesterday. 4 or 5 liters of water, 6 around water, especially for the Western Cape. If they don't, we are going to have serious problems with people ripping off the consumers. Ladies and gentlemen, Yasin Tiba, please come forward. Operation SA, we were involved in providing tens of thousands of liters together with the department some 2 years ago during the hike in some of the northern provinces. Operation SA, your partners, what are you pledging? What are you doing?
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. I know it's been a late night last night, but thank you for joining us. Without echoing too much of what Yusuf said and what Catherine said, I think myself and Yusuf started Operation SA because we saw what small individuals, small businesses can do and come together in a time of crisis, in a time of fires. We saw in Naisna. We saw ordinary people doing extraordinary things and making small changes, making thousands of people more comfortable. And we decided to start Operation SA and work with Operation SA. And thus far, the spirit of Ubuntu has been absolutely amazing. Once again, when we were alerted to the water crisis in Cape Town, we were inundated with calls, people saying that they want to collect water in Gauteng, send water down, and we advised them again via press releases, making people aware. And without echoing Aidan's message and Yusuf's message again, we stressed on the point of saving water. That said, ever since the 2014-2015 drought, myself and Yusuf have always looked at ways of making people more sustainable. We know that bottled water is not a sustainable solution. So we looked at boreholes, and for the past 2 years, 3 years, we've been identifying schools, clinics, hospitals, old age homes, and we've been rolling out boreholes throughout the 9 provinces. This week, we were contacted by our partners, an organization that has always supported us, OCAF SA, represented by Hussein and Mikhail Toure. They committed to Operation SA that they are going to fund 30 boreholes. We thank them for their support. We've already identified schools in the Western Cape as an urgent intervention. We have the principal of Livingstone. Hi, Mr. Theo, thank you for joining us. We are in the process of getting final quotations and final hydrologist reports. And we hope to roll out some of those boreholes as soon as the end of February and end of March. Once again, thank you to all the ambassadors. You are making a massive, massive impact, not only in the Western Cape, but nationally. We thank you for your support, not only for this coming weeks, but we need to continue. We need to continue spreading the word throughout the country, and we thank you for your support. Thanks.
To say it, but we've allocated 3 million rand for boreholes in the Cape Town area with OCAF. We have the money secured, Money is secured. Once we get the necessary approvals, we're ready to rock and roll. And Headmaster, please stand up. We'll give you a borehole, God willing. We'll make sure that your school gets saved. Let me point out, it's not free for all. We can't just go and drill a borehole. We want the Department of Water and Sanitation, Trevor Bolser, National Disaster Management are working very closely with us, and we're working with them, Janine, and they will identify the areas, and through the processes, we'll try to speed up the red tape from the city and make sure it's done. Yes, I'm going to be in big trouble. Janine, Julius, please come forward. No, don't worry about the bosses. They won't. Please come forward.
We're going to ask
Yeah, no, he's going to talk just now. Just come forward. I mentioned earlier, but I'll be failing in my duty. Ladies and gentlemen, when I said to you, the Chief Director, now Acting Deputy DG from Pretoria, when she called us in and said, please, will you consider leading this campaign? I said to her, Janine, we'll do it because we have to do it for our country. And I think we really need to pay tribute to you and to your entire team that's been involved here today over the past few weeks, the graphics and the WhatsApp groups at 2 o'clock in the morning and whatever, to say that we need more people like you as civil servants to lead this campaign. And you can be assured, when I speak to the Minister and Deputy Minister and your acting DG, we'll raise your support. Do you say something?
Not really, but
Okay.
I do want to say our head of infrastructure, Ms. Zandile Makatini, is here.
Oh, okay.
She brought a team of engineers. I think it was a month ago now. Literally the best engineers from across the country. And they've been stationed here. They left their families and, you know, made huge sacrifices. They've been here, they've been working. They've been drilling at Theewaterskloof and, you know, all of the efforts. Those are the guys that we really, really applaud, you know, who just, you know, when the call came in, packed up and you know, are now stationed here. And to her, you know, as a mother and a wife who's also been here, it's you know, it's those sacrifices that we don't always see and mention. And so also our gratitude to those colleagues. Thank you very much.
Anyone here from West Grove? West Grove? John, just please come forward, ma'am. No, that's fine. All right. I don't want to get you fired. But anyway, John just made a very valid point. The message we need to get out is that Cape Town is open for business. If you're a tourist and you're seeing that on CNN, on Sky, that Cape Town's got no water and you're changing your mind, please don't. Please come to South Africa. The hotels, we are assured I have water. John also told me that the city of Joburg reminded me, said you can shower with someone. I don't know if you subscribe to the policy. Yes, in your room now. No, I don't want to become naughty, but I'm just saying that we need to really find clever ways. But the message to tourists, both local and foreign, is that please come to Cape Town. Are there any ambassadors who want to say something very quickly? Please, you'll make a pledge, you're welcome. Yes, Vernon. Yeah, please do. Any of our other activists, you can come quickly. We can just give a quick pledge. Water, okay?
Good morning, everyone. On behalf of the independent group, we met with Yusuf and Catherine yesterday, but we'd like to remind folks that this water issue was on our front page 17 years ago. And since then, thousands of articles launched from the digital side. We talk of the history of us campaigning for people to be aware of the water crisis. And I think to draw your attention to the fact that this issue has been our issue for a long time is something that we take to heart. We are especially impressed, and I say this on behalf of the group, Yusuf, with how quickly our friends have rallied around the country on what is our issue, but what is becoming a national issue. So Janine, we now pledge our support to you as a group. I can say on behalf of our executive chairman, group executive, to support not only the department's efforts here, but with our 21 media brands, our largest digital channels, and hopefully soon our digital television. We want to support you, and we commit now to you. We commit to you, Yusuf, as well, the use of our newspapers and so forth. And then on the 22nd of March, please be ready for the next phase of this campaign as partners, as ambassadors. I know Catherine is readying a school team for 100 schools. We'll go there together from Monday. But I am, of course, as a Cape Town boy, especially impressed with our friends from the community organizations, Mr. Jacobs, everyone. It's on the streets and in the households that this matter is going to matter, from the oldest to the youngest. So we need you to stand united on this issue. Thank you, Yusuf. Thank you to your team.
My friend from Joburg, gosh, such a pity the guy was late. Yeah. Before Catherine, yes.
Crime fighters,
crime fighters, you know, say something? Yeah, you want to know about Hanif. 10 seconds, otherwise you're in trouble. We're already running over time, but thank you. Louis, you want to say something, Colleen?
Good morning. On behalf of the crime fighters in the Western Cape, we pledge our support for this initiative. It's a crime wasting a resource of cold water, and we believe that we should be assisting Yusuf in this initiative. That's why we pledge our support.
Again, as Mitchells Plain Community Police Forum and representing the safety environment, we pledge our support to this initiative and this campaign. We are saving #Save Water, #Every Drop Counts, #Your Lifeline, because ultimately water is the lifeline of our society.
I think where Catherine will tell us in a moment, our first school is going to be Mitchells Plain on Monday. Any other ambassadors want to give a quick message? Please come forward. Yes, sir. One of our activists, by the way, that joined our ambassadors groups, live streaming, very big on social media. She also got a Twitter group called Water Crisis.
Yes, I basically started a page called Cape Town Water Crisis a year ago when I realized where we were headed. And with live streaming, I have access to the international audience. And I must say it's been an absolute privilege and honor to be able to share this with not only locally, but also internationally. I've got a whole team of live streamers behind me internationally who are rooting for us. And also want to promote doing 90-second showers in sympathy with Cape Town in South Africa. And I really am honored to be able to have this platform and share it, and I invite any one of you who would like to use this platform to get in touch with me. I'm happy to do that. Unlike traditional media, it's a two-way communication stream and it engages the public in a phenomenal manner. So thank you everyone, and I commit to save water too.
Ladies and gentlemen, if there's no other pledges, I know you all pledged. There's a pledge board we're going to be signing as we leave. I appeal to everyone to please sign it. Where's Catherine disappeared to now? But let me say in conclusion, we cannot. This is not my campaign. It's not Yusuf Abramji. It's not Janine. It's not Water. It's not Nomvula. It's not Catherine. It's not Yasin. This is our initiative. Steve, we're all in this together. Ahmed Layer, you want to say something? You want to give a donation? But really, we cannot do this if we don't have your support. The people, yes, sir. Yes. Come forward. When our next Karin Nadim, oh yes, hang on. I did see you sitting there behind. Karin Nadim Dawood is a world-renowned reciter of the Holy Quran, a Capetonian. His father was an activist for many, many years and still is. By the way, I think he's got a car hiring company, so I don't know if he's going to give us 3 cars, but anyway, Karin Nadim, the father will talk on behalf of the son.
Thank you, Yusuf, for giving me this opportunity, and thank you and welcome. I'd just like to suggest with the Save Water campaign, we can actually probably take this campaign to all the principals, all the schools in the Western Cape, and introduce the concept of Save Water ambassadorship amongst the children themselves. And I think so probably that we will sort of give them some sort of ownership to this program, and we use the school platform to actually generate this kind of support and reward the kids by taking up initiatives.
You've taken Catherine's thunder away. Catherine Kasatinidis, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. That was exactly what Catherine was going to announce very quickly, is the program. Thank you for your support. #Save Water, #Every Drop Counts. We can make Day Zero go away. We work together. Thank you for your support. Catherine.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're really very excited. The education program that we will launch will start next week. So with Miss Earth South Africa Leadership Program, we have designed an education program that we will start to roll out first in 100 schools across the city, and we will then go into other phases with the department. But the idea is really to tap into young people. Our children are most certainly the policemen in our homes. They're the ones that will constantly nag us and ensure that we start to do the right thing. We have seen this countless times, and if you're a mom or a dad, you'll understand this, or if you have children in your home, you know that they really drive a certain consciousness. So as of, we will shortly be going out into schools, and we're very excited to be able to be engaging with children. So most certainly we will be going into the schools. We want to extend it to be able to go into as many schools, not only in the Western Cape, the Eastern Cape, but across South Africa, because we have to make sure that our young children and new generations of children start to grow up thinking differently, that they start with a different behavior change. They grow up knowing that you don't run water when you wash your teeth. They must believe and know that you only have 90-second showers. It's not something that you do for pleasure, but you do it as a necessity. It's about shifting that mindset. And it really is up to us in our homes to start living those values. Outside of just what we put on social media, we need to really live those values intrinsically. So we're really excited about our water program, and we're going to be inspiring children to become water heroes. So as part of our program in schools, we will be giving a certificate to learners, and they will become our official water heroes, both at school and in their homes. It's a really exciting project, and we have designed, we've got a mascot. His name is Splash. You may have also met him outside. He'll be coming through to make a grand appearance, and also he'll be going through to all of the schools that we visit over that 10-day period. So it'll be 10 days, 100 schools, and one mission, to ensure that young children take the responsibility and they become the water heroes of our communities. We want them to really drive the consciousness, not only in their classroom, but in their home as well. And it is really an opportunity for us to all engage. We would love all of our ambassadors, if and when you can be involved, join us. The Cape Argus, thank you for your support already. We look forward to having you with us as we launch this program with the Department of Water and Sanitation. And it's really going to be something that we drive from an education, awareness, and behavior change. We want new generations of children who grow up and are the warriors that we need. They're the ones that start to really conscientize us as adults. I believe our Splash is here, so he's going to come through. I think that as I mentioned, Splash will go out with us to schools. We'll have 3 to 4 teams on the ground over a period of 10 days, visiting about between 8 and 12 schools every single day, and he will most certainly be, well, maybe it's a she, maybe it's a he, maybe he'll be coming with us to schools, and we're really excited to be able to do this. This is part of the education element. So certain things we do for awareness, certain things we do to create momentum in ensuring that water and the protection of this resource is not just part of a discussion on certain days, but this has to be a part of our daily lives. And Splash is going to help us with that education, and we're really, really excited to roll this campaign out with the department. And there's certain stakeholders and partners who are here in the room this morning. We've spoken to many of them already, and we're welcoming anyone who would like to join us, partner, add resources to what we're doing. Please do. This is really about how are we going to change and shift South Africans' mindsets. And it takes each and every one of us as passionate, committed South African citizens to change what is now our status quo. We will become a blueprint for what other cities can do and what other countries can do around the world, because water is a precious resource not only to South Africa as a semi-arid country, but to other nations around the world. I'm going to ask Flash to stand a bit closer to me. He is scared of me, but I don't bite. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the mascot. If you have not got a photo with Splash yet today, please ensure that you do get one. Share him on social media. We were doing a site visit in Mitchell's Plain yesterday. We will launch our schools program in Mitchell's Plain. And as I say, we need to understand that throughout communities across South Africa, and specifically just looking at the Western Cape, across our communities, we have a different set of problems when it comes to water. We must be sensitive to the different issues that we face, and we must be cognizant that as a community, it takes conversation, dialogue, debate in safe spaces for us to really address the challenge and to ensure that every individual effort does have a collective impact. Ladies and gentlemen, before we close off, I'm going to ask for our guest from the department to say some thank yous and to close off for us. We do have a pledge board outside, and we'd like to ask each and every one of you to ensure that you put that signature on that pledge board. We want your name there, and we want you to take a photo, post it, let it be a reminder to you, to that commitment that you're going to make, to do everything you can to ensure you're using 50 litres of water or less, that you're doing what you can. We are also trending on Twitter at number 2.
In fact, give number 1 first, Catherine.
Okay, the first one is hashtag Zuma has fallen. We're only competing with that, so we really could just push him out. So ladies and gentlemen, hashtag Save Water is trending at number 2 across South Africa.
In fact, give number 3 as well.
And number 3 is Atul Gupta. So please use that all-important hashtag Save Water. Please ensure that it's in your tweets. Let's ensure that all of South Africa, no matter where people are today, they're joining in on this conversation. They're joining in what your commitment is, and you're inspiring somebody else to do something too. Thank you so much for being with us again. Thank you to the department for allowing us to really partner, because I think far too often we do find that we're pointing fingers at government, we're pointing fingers at our community leaders, but we don't take responsibility ourselves. And it really is about active citizenship. It's about what are we doing in our own corner to make sure that we leave that space better. So to everyone, to all of our partners, but for the official thank you, please allow me to thank you myself again. Don't forget to sign the pledge board. And as we end, please put your hands together for Mr. Rashid Khan, Regional Head of the Western Cape Department of Water Management.
Alweini, Sawubona, Goeiedag, good morning, Assalamu alaikum, Shalom, Masharoni, Absheng, Dumala. I hope I have covered everyone. If I haven't, then you are greeted. Like this one Moorish fellow says, Goeiedag. So, yeah. But thank you very much. They say normally my job is easy to thank everybody, but this job is not so easy because I have got people here that are doing a great job. My name is Rashid Khan, and I'm trying my best to manage all the enthusiasm. You know those green tablets in our box that you take every morning? Enthusiasm tablets that you take, and there's got so much passion, so much of drive. And when you say, water is life, Aidan Thomas was, thank you very much, Aidan, for being here. Finally get to see you and hear you, because I will hear you on radio and others. Yusuf, thank you very much for all your great efforts and your passion, and your passion is well known. So yeah, I can talk for days, really, I don't want to talk for days, on the water. We are just talking about one part of, and the philosophy is you can only save what you have. Maulana is gone. So, yeah, the priests and the sermons, we clapped after he spoke, but normally you don't clap after a sermon. But anyway, but thank you very much for all the guys that came to the front. If I've missed out one of you, I apologize. But as the Department of Water and Sanitation, we know about water. We know that water is life, but we can't do it without you. No, really, we can't. We can't. We have to now hold hands much more firmly, put our heads together, hands together, and probably our hearts together to say, let's do this thing. I'm sure we can. And in our planning, we don't go for the day that we run out. We go for the day that we are getting more water into the system. And I'm sure we can. But saving water is only what you have that you can save. You can't save what you don't have. So what we're trying to do is, instead of looking at the, I call it the glasses, it's a little bit old school, or the tumbler. The glass is half full or half empty. Depends how you look at it. The dams are half full or half empty. Normally, as an eternal optimist, we look at it as half full. So you are half full and you want to get full. So as a Department of Water and Sanitation, we want to get full, okay? So thank you very much, all you, John and Maulana and Aidan and Vernon and others. I've got a whole list here, but I don't want to go through like what Yusuf did, the 109. Thank you very much. You are very, very passionate, and thank you for your energy. I have now found out that water as life has got energized life. No? Now this is sport. So you ask yourself, who's thinking? Because your brain is about 85% water, etc. So are you emotional, or is your water emotional? I know that kind of thing. I just want to go through and see if I've missed out some people, but thank you very much, Special, for being here. I know it gets hot inside, but thank you very much. Thank you for your passion, and thank you for standing in the front, able to. Lastly, please don't forget to pledge. We have some pledges that come through the front. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. We are going to follow through. Okay? So the other part of just saying what you have and you can't say what you don't have is how do you fill it? And there's three things how you fill it is desalination. Oh, some people say desalination is not good. Simply because it's probably the driver is a lot of energy, but we have got sun. If, like climate change says, there's two things that will affect you, rainfall and temperature. So if you have less cloudy days, you'll have more sunny days, so you'll have more energy. So why don't we do it together as a couple, solar desal, that kind of thing. And then the second part is to get groundwater. God has gifted us with groundwater. We have groundwater, TMG group, we call it Table Mountain group. From the Table Mountain, as you know, the Atlantic Ocean, it was there and then it was eroded. So part of the eastern side, or say, we'll call it the eastern side of the South American and the western side of South African, or Africa. You will have the same type of sand formation. So it goes about one and a half. We can talk about it. But thank you very much. We have the second part is groundwater. Thank you very much, DDG. I thank you for the permission to talk in the front, and and thank you for your help. Thank you, sir. Okay, and I need to finish off now by saying thanks to all of you. And the last part of the three is reuse. And I think some of the people in the front, they spoke about reuse. How you get your people to put water in the system, etc. I think there's a behavior change. What is it that don't get panic-stricken? Because I think what the message is out here is that we are panic-stricken. And how do you deal with water? I'm not a politician. I'm just a civil servant. I'm supposed to be a civil servant. So I will ask you kindly and on my knees in tears and tell you, please, just look at the three things: how to fill the cup and save as much as you can. So this is one. And Janine, thank you very much for holding hands to run with the Safe Water campaign, and Yusuf and the team and for having us here. Thank you very much. And Catherine, the program director, is it? Thank you very much for your input, and thank you especially.
Ladies and gentlemen, just very quickly again to Gary Reid and his team at the Cullinan, thank you so much for always being an unbelievable partner and host for our activations and programs. It's really wonderful to align to a brand like Sun who understands a bigger vision and a bigger picture. So thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, the one key partner we did not mention is Brand South Africa and Play Your Part. I'm very honored to also be a Brand South Africa ambassador and Play Your Part ambassador. And we have Katie Mohammed, who's here today and who has pledged their support to this. From a national perspective, this is really precious. Water is a precious resource, and this is really, we're launching this in Cape Town and we're addressing the Cape Town crisis that we see. But this is really something that must be on the national agenda. It's of national importance, and we continue to work across South Africa using what we've done here in Cape Town as a best practice, using the wonderful innovations that we see coming out of brands such as Sun as a blueprint for what can be done as best practice moving forward and how we operate moving forward. To Katie, thank you for being here today. Thank you to our custodians of our national brand South Africa, for your support. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to sign the pledge board outside. Again, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being with us. Continue to use that all-important hashtag Save Water and Every Drop Counts. I'm Catherine Constantinides, and it's really been a pleasure to host you. Thank you.
I know it's a lot, but I'll be doing it injustice. Ladies and gentlemen, I think it's only appropriate that we congratulate our incoming President of the Republic of South Africa, who hopefully will take office today or tomorrow, Cyril Ramaphosa. And I think as South Africans, the right thing to do is to send a message to our head of state and his deputy incumbent, whoever that will be, to say that we as the people of South Africa fully support our government and the president, and we hope that South Africa is going to go forward under the new leadership. Thank you very much.